A young bloke at my local coffee shop has been working there for a while now. He's got massive ambitions to build wealth, but his upbringing wasn't exactly privileged. Single mum household, no strong father figures around. Still, he's got this hunger to succeed and constantly seeks guidance on climbing the financial ladder. Recently, he mustered up the courage to approach a well-dressed businessman for career advice. The response he got was brutal, just a lecture about how today's youth have no work ethic whatsoever. He attempted to explain his situation, juggling uni fees with part-time work, trying to build a future in an economy that's nothing like it was decades ago. Didn't matter. The businessman cut him off mid-sentence, went on about how young people just make excuses and expect success to fall into their laps. A bystander watching this exchange couldn't stay silent. They confronted the businessman directly with a simple truth. The economic landscape has fundamentally shifted, and the obstacles facing today's youth are completely different. Sure, previous generations grafted hard, but that doesn't mean the current generation isn't putting in equal effort. This young man is balancing education with employment whilst trying to plan ahead. The complexity of modern life has increased exponentially. The roadmap to financial success isn't nearly as clear-cut as it once was. Our responsibility is to lift up the next generation, not tear them down. They'll be running the show soon enough. We should be sharing our wisdom and experience, not crushing their motivation. You can't change everyone's outdated mindset, but thankfully not all older folks think this way. This encounter sparked a realization. Countless ambitious young people are out there searching for genuine guidance. So let me share 5 fundamental principles anyone can follow to build serious wealth. Your first decade on Earth is pure childhood, just playing and having fun. The next 10 years get wasted memorizing pointless formulas and analyzing centuries-old literature that has zero practical application. Only when you reach your 20s do you actually enter the real world and start figuring out how money works. Scrolling through social media and seeing people your age in supercars can be absolutely crushing. Stop beating yourself up for not having everything sorted already. The education system completely failed to prepare you for actual adult life. Honestly, you're only just beginning. If that resonates with you, forget about chasing millions right now. Your entire focus should be on developing razor-sharp skills. Too many people skip the fundamentals and jump straight into entrepreneurship because they've heard it's the fast track to riches. That's like attempting to chop down an oak tree with a kitchen knife. You'll get absolutely nowhere. So what's the secret to developing skills so powerful that when opportunity knocks, you can capitalize immediately? It boils down to mastering abilities that command serious money. We are talking skills that can generate £10,000 monthly or more. Right now, the hot ones are video production, persuasive writing, closing high-value sales, and coding. Market demand fluctuates, so earning potential varies. But becoming exceptional at even one of these can completely transform your financial trajectory early in life. These abilities give you access to successful people and insider knowledge that others pay fortunes to acquire. That's the real magic of high-value skills. They unlock doors that stay closed for everyone else. Figure out which doors you want opened, then choose 1 or 2 skills that'll get you there. Don't rush this phase. Skill development requires patience and consistent effort. Think long-term game, not quick win. There's no need to make fast money just to flex on Instagram. Focus on sustainability, not becoming a flash-in-the-pan success story. Give yourself realistic timeframes. Abandon the fantasy of becoming a millionaire in 12 months. Master the right abilities, and wealth becomes inevitable. Trust the journey. Here's a bonus. Even if you lost everything tomorrow, you'd still out-earn the average person by a mile. Wealthy people who've lost it all often rebuild faster the second time because the knowledge and capabilities remain intact. Think of your money like a delicate stack of china plates. The more you fiddle with them, the more likely they'll shatter. Stop constantly moving your money around, thinking you're being clever with trades and purchases. Reality check, you're probably making terrible decisions. Ever wonder how Warren Buffett accumulated 99% of his $100 billion fortune after turning 50? He cracked the code on compound growth. But compounding can't work its magic if you keep dipping into your funds whenever you fancy. You need to lock it somewhere it can multiply undisturbed. Just stashing cash in a current account won't cut it, though. You must put it into appreciating assets. You've got options, property, luxury timepieces, precious metals, but equities markets remain one of the most reliable choices. Here's the issue, though. Young people fantasize about champagne and exotic cars. Building wealth, not quite as sexy. But here's the truth. Hitting your first million is actually pretty ordinary. The real test is whether you can repeat it consistently. Once you've banked that first million, the actual challenge begins. Can you preserve it and multiply it into generational wealth? Your best move is immediately transferring that money into investments before you're tempted to spend it. Create an ironclad rule: never liquidate your long-term holdings. Eventually, these investments can generate thousands weekly in passive cash flow, meaning you live entirely off investment returns without ever touching your earned income. Once money goes into investments, mentally write it off as gone. This mindset shift creates incredible motivation. You'll hustle relentlessly because you'll constantly feel skint. Like a fighter training in a rundown gym with basic equipment. That fighter often destroys the one training in a state-of-the-art facility. When starting your investment journey, first decide what percentage of income you'll invest monthly. Percentages work better than fixed amounts. For instance, investing $250 monthly into a low-fee index tracker with 10% average returns would grow to over 1.5 million in 4 decades. Markets fluctuate, obviously, but the S&P 500 has delivered nearly 11% annually over the past 10 years. The specific amount matters less than maintaining consistency. Try this interesting approach. Configure your investment platform to automatically invest £5 daily, what you'd spend on coffee. In 10 months, you could see £150–200 gains with roughly 11% returns. UK investors can use platforms like Trading 212, Vanguard, or Hargreaves Lansdown. Critical point: use a stocks and shares ISA wrapper so every penny of profit is tax-free. Here's what's actually blocking your path to wealth. You think it's fear of failing. Actually, you're terrified of being judged when things go wrong. Countless ambitious young people sabotage themselves by playing it safe because they're paralyzed by what others might think. But calculated risk-taking is the only way to separate yourself from the pack. Consider this logically. Doing exactly what everyone else does produces exactly the same mediocre results, yeah? Not every risk pays off, but youth gives you one massive advantage: decades ahead of you. Time is your most precious resource. With abundant time, fear should be minimal. I understand real life doesn't work that logically, but bold moves in your 20s often become your best decisions looking back. Let fear control you, and you'll spend your life wondering what might have been. This principle applies to investing too. In your 20s and 30s, bonds and gold shouldn't dominate your portfolio. Those are for older investors protecting existing wealth from major downturns. They can't afford to wait years for recovery. You can, which means you can embrace higher risk, higher reward opportunities by leveraging your time horizon. Sometimes you've just got to take the leap. Passing on opportunities breeds regret and endless what-if scenarios. Your risk-taking window shrinks with each passing year. So be bold. Stop overthinking every possible outcome. Don't become the person saying, "I almost started that business," or "I had that idea first." With time on your side, failure is just valuable feedback. Think of it as experimentation. Every successful person you admire has a graveyard of failures behind them. Success and failure are inseparable. Success is simply the prize for persisting through repeated failures. So stop hesitating, be courageous, and grab opportunities when they appear. Ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? It illustrates how knowledge and confidence relate inversely at certain stages. Most people get stuck at Mount Stupid permanently, not because they lack intelligence or drive. It's pure arrogance. They think wealth is random luck, when it's actually a skill you can develop. It's an endless cycle of learning and implementation. Even highly successful older investors continuously educate themselves on current trends. They consume YouTube content, follow TikTok, and stay current with financial media. This lets them spot emerging opportunities before their peers. So commit to lifelong learning, just not in the traditional academic sense. Learn from people ahead of you on the journey. This process takes years and there are no shortcuts. You can't skip to the end. So respect the process and put in the work. Make it a game. With every new person you meet, try to learn something you didn't know before. Keeps you humble. Develop a learning habit and your earning potential multiplies exponentially. For example, if you'd been ignorant about cryptocurrency in 2019, you'd have missed the opportunity to allocate a small percentage and generate massive returns. But Western education teaches the opposite. School until 18, then university for 3 or 4 years. Then you're done learning forever, apparently. Which means most people stop developing new knowledge in their early 20s. This educational model is fundamentally broken. The pace of change has never been faster. To stay relevant, you need to constantly upgrade your mental software like updating a computer. Fail to update your knowledge and clear out obsolete information, and your mind becomes outdated. Use it or lose it has never been more accurate. Breaking generational poverty requires changing your social circle. Research from the National Bureau of Economic Research in 2024 revealed you can boost your wealth odds by befriending specific people. Can you guess who? Wealthy individuals, but not for the obvious reasons. The research showed that every 10% increase in affluent friendships correlated with a 3% higher likelihood of investing in equities, plus a 5% increase in saving behavior. Makes perfect sense. People constantly ask why everyone isn't investing if it's so straightforward. Everyone should be, but their social environment holds them back. Investing and entrepreneurship feels scary and foreign, but when you have friends who can demystify these concepts in everyday language, your odds of building wealth skyrocket. I'm not suggesting you abandon your current mates, and definitely don't befriend people purely because they're loaded. Just consider joining communities where successful people naturally congregate. Genuine friendships will develop organically without forcing anything. If you're still watching, you're clearly serious about success, young, driven, and hungry to make it. Young people like you are literally the foundation of society. Whether you're in the UK, Europe, Africa, or anywhere else, location doesn't matter. Without your innovation, energy, and ideas, civilization would collapse. You're the next generation of leaders, so pursue your ambitions fearlessly. Remember, plenty of older people genuinely support and believe in young people. Never let anyone diminish your potential. For more wealth-building content, hit subscribe. You're going to make it.